service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable copy products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief, from medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find relief.
Clayton WFieldQ Port St. Joe, Panama City's home for Super Bowl 60. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the ACC.
In the front court, left side, left open, triggers the three and buries it.
The SMU Mustangs head to Louisville to face the Cardinals.
Screen left, he's in the short corner, took a bump, goes to the basket, reverse layup is good. Oh, what an acrobatic finish.
Airtime at 12:30, tip-off at 1 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The sports world is a battlefield of opinions. And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take. Don't just follow the headlines. Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Right after the show, we've got Auburn versus Texas right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We are having trouble with our Facebook page right now. The guys are working on that to hopefully get it back going on, but you can also check us out on Twitch. You can check us out on YouTube, and also the radio, and even the ESPN Northwest Florida app will still be live there as well. So either way, without further ado, we are joined today with head baseball coach of the Gulf Coast State Commodore baseball team, Coach Tyler Younger. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. It's good to see you back. And he's got his starting pitcher, Jordan Martinez, formerly of the Mosley Dolphins, now of the Gulf Coast State Commodores. How you doing today, Jordan?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. Now, Jordan, you're a Florida State commit, right? Now,
Correct.
How did that happen? So walk us through that a little bit going forward. So you come to Gulf Coast, you play your freshman year there, and now you're into your sophomore year. When did you start getting the traction from the schools coming into this?
It really started during the summer. I had La Tech, they reached out, and then I had Florida State reach out. And La Tech was really hard pursuing me to go into my sophomore year to go there. But I knew that my skill, in my opinion, was, for better. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to take the risk, high risk, high reward, and that's what I did.
And so with that being said, now are you committed or are you actually signed? How does that work? Kind of let us know. Are you already signed the contract, it's a done deal, or is it just a commitment right now? How does that work?
Yeah, so they have signing days, mm-hmm. and I committed, I think, September, and the signing day, I believe, was November, so I was committed for 2 or so months, and then I signed.
Then you signed, okay. And so, Coach, let me ask you this. As far as Jordan goes, you've had him for 2 years now. Tell us what makes him so special, and were you surprised that Florida State came knocking?
Definitely not surprised at Florida State, especially the year he had for us last year and the way he performed and produced for us. The thing about Jordan is I've been fortunate to be at some, a high level of Division I, so being around guys that are good players that turn into pros and a lot of times big leaguers. The one thing he does that's similar to the guys there that are good is he shows up every day and punches the clock and does more than what's asked of him. He's not a guy we ever have to worry about. Not showing up, being late, not doing what he's supposed to. He does everything we ask of him plus some. Like, he's a guy that's going the extra mile. And then, a lot of guys do that these days, and then they don't necessarily perform when it matters, and he performs when it matters. So he's kind of got the whole package going right now.
So let me ask you this, Jordan. So you come out of Mosley High School. Who was your coach over there?
I had John Hudson. Oh, my gosh, I forgot. Coach Howard, Bobby Howard, and then Coach Lee.
Okay. And so coming out of high school, did you have many offers, or how did that work out for you?
I had 3, and they were all JUCOs.
Okay. And so you wanted to stay close to home. Is that why you chose Gulf Coast, or you saw that the best coach in JUCO baseball was sitting right next to you, and you knew that was where you needed to go?
Well, of course, it being at home helped a lot, but it being in the best conference as well. And you can't get better unless you play the best.
That's right. So with that being said, you've already had an outing this year. How did that go?
I would say it wasn't my favorite, but it definitely got the job done to get a win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Yeah.
So are you a big, maybe Coach, you might be able to answer this part. Is Jordan like a really big I, me alpha type personality, or is he really like what he's trying to present right here with this whole, it's about the team, and is he really that way?
No, he's that way for sure. He cares about one thing, and that's winning. That's a big deal to him, and you can see that with the effort he puts in every day. Not one point since I've known him I've ever thought, oh, that's a me guy. He puts us first, and he cares about us putting a W on the board.
Well, that's fantastic. So when you have that kind, he's got to be one of your leaders there. And, Jordan, with all of the way that baseball is going, it's really popular. The travel ball is really popular. Now, give us a little backstory. Now, when you were a kid, did you play in the Little League? Did you play travel ball? How did all that happen?
Yeah, so I started, like the Lynn Haven Complex, just, that's what you do growing up. Played that till I was maybe 10, 11, and then I got into travel ball more, and I think that's where I, knew I was actually good. So
did when you went to the travel ball thing, were you a pitcher there, or did you play multiple positions, and were you a good hitter, and that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, I was definitely more of a utility player than a pitcher. Like, I was just someone who could just go up there and pitch. But I definitely played all the spots, infield, outfield. I was mainly a catcher actually, but pitching was just a side thing I like to do.
Wow. So if some 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, and my son, he plays, he's 9 right now, but he will be turning 10 this year, to hear those guys just play and enjoy it, or it's really time to focus in on what you want to do? Because it sounds like you didn't. It sounds like you just went out there, had a good time with it, and, then you just blossomed.
Yeah, definitely try to do as much sports or play as many positions as possible to increase your athleticism overall, because I think that's what's really helped me make the transition from like a two-way guy going into college to just a pitcher.
So what are you clocking at, and then what's your best pitch?
Probably my changeup. Just throw it whenever I want for a strike most of the time, and usually gets a lot of swings.
So how hard are you throwing? What's your velocity, as they like to call it?
I've been up to a 4 twice, but I'm usually 90 to 92, 93. But I think it's going to tick up a little bit, and I'll be more 1 to 4-ish.
Okay, so you're in the 90s. That's good. So are you, when you're out there, what are you thinking about? I've had Cooper Moss on here. I've had Eli Blair in here. And that's one of the questions I always like to ask the pitchers. Like, when you're on the mound, and, everybody's different. Everybody's thinking of different stuff. Everybody's, can be thinking about, the next pitch, the next play, or, something crazy like look at the clouds in the sky, whatever calms them down or heats them up, whichever way. So what do you think about when you're on the mound and say you know that they got a batter up, say the number 3 hole batter's up, and you got to get him out because you got the winning run or the tying run at third base?
Yeah, I would say, and Coach Younger has preached this a lot, it's just get ahead. If you get ahead, you're going to be fine. And that's something I took away from this past outing. I had to struggle, getting my fastball where it needed to be, and it showed with the results that they were getting. But when I was getting ahead, I was getting, 1 or 2 pitch outs. So just getting ahead.
That's good. Now, Coach, you guys have already started playing, and we talked to you at the end of last year, and we made the transition. And how's it been going? How did the off season work? Did the guys really surprise you? Are there any diamonds in the rough like Jordan that you've got on the precipice of becoming something to move the program forward to help you guys be victorious?
Yeah, I feel like we got a good young core this time. We returned 4 or 5 from last year's team, but most of those guys were big contributors like Jordan. A couple position players, but position player wise, opening day we started 8 freshmen. Now, one of our main sophomores was out with a little oblique deal, but we started 8 freshmen opening day. A lot of those guys have been what we thought they were. We try to do a good job in the recruiting process and extensive process of, making sure we know what we're getting into, whether it be, talk to their travel ball coach or high school coach, just to know we need to expect on a day-to-day basis. So most guys have been what we thought they were going to be. But I like the group, and the young core's got a chance to be really good, moving forward. Sometimes with young guys, you battle the ups and downs of their freshman year. But I feel like we got a mature group as far as that goes. And it helps we got guys like Jordan and a couple of other returners that can, put their arms around guys and say, we were a freshman at one point, and, this is how we handle things, and this is how you should go about it, and that type of stuff. So that helps. But I like this group. They're fun to be around.
Let me ask you this. You said something that kind of perked me up a little bit. 10 to 20 years ago, there would have never been a mention of a travel ball coach, but you said travel ball and high school coach. How much of that is going on now? I mean, are we 50-50? Are kids opting to not play high school baseball, playing with their travel teams? And as a college head baseball coach, are you looking at these travel teams? Do you have these guys on the line that you can talk to if you're interested in recruiting some of those guys? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say most guys are playing both still. There's not a whole lot of guys that just skip their high school stuff to only play travel ball. But in our world, we got to have good connections with both. To me, like talking to the high school coach is a huge deal for us because the high school coach is around them every day, whether it be in school or on the field, and the high school coach has the same, I guess, they're trying to win the game. Every game they play, they're trying to win. Not that you're not trying to do that in travel ball, but travel ball is more so, especially when they get older, how do we get them recruited? So put them out there, make sure they get seen, that type of stuff. So a lot of times in that environment, all the kids are excited to be there because that's where the me comes in, me, because I'm playing for myself and I'm trying to get recruited. So I may go 4 for 4 and we lose the game, and I'm still happy. Right. Because I'm getting recruited. Whereas on the high school side, like, if you don't win the game, like, nobody's happy. So, and then, the next day of practice, we got to work on the stuff we weren't good at the day before. It's just the environment's a lot more similar to what we deal with at the college level of wanting to win games, trying to win games. And, that's where the junior college level is a little different because we're also trying to get these kids recruited and seen and scouted because it's our job to move them on to the next level. So it's, we talk to our kids about there's a fine line of you playing for yourself and also playing to win. And the funny part about it is, coaches at the next level want winners. So if you're part of a winning team, they're more apt to recruit you because, there's just something about waking up every day and expecting to win. When you put on our jersey and our stuff, you expect to win. And that's a big reason we like to take kids from winning high school programs also because there's an expectation to win, there's an expectation to be successful, and that's the type of mindset we want.
That's crazy. Like you said, a mouthful, and man, a lot of these things are just going through my head because of, obviously I've got a son and he's going through all of these things right now, and it does seem like we have got that big tournament that comes over to Publix that's called the Beast of the East. I mean, it's a huge tournament, and those teams, when they are moved up to the big field, the older kids, the ones where they're really starting to be ranked, they fly those kids all in from different areas to play on a team together. They don't really know each other. They know of each other, and it's more about displaying and showcasing them as individuals. I believe last year or year before last, Miguel Cabrera's son was there. We went over to watch, and I actually got to meet Miguel Cabrera over there, which was really cool. He was really nice to everybody. But talk about that as far as for the kids that, because a lot of the dads listen to the show, and talk about that right now, like how to teach kids that winning the game and being a part of the team, like that's really what you guys are looking for, because, being the superstar, it might work for some, but for the most part, that's a turnoff to a lot of coaches, I would assume.
Right. And we view it as winning as kind of the end result of you having a good process. I think the biggest thing to teach kids is the process of being successful, and the process which leads to winning. Like, it's really just comes down to showing up, punching the clock every day, and getting better. It's cliche, but get better at something every day. Like when you get the opportunity to get on the field, whether it's on the field, in a classroom, or whatever, you should wake up every day wanting to get better or wanting to learn something. And if you do that, it compounds over time. And next thing you know, you look up 6 months later or a year later, and you've gotten a lot better, because you got a little bit better every single day. So you're seeing it in college athletics right now, where it's win at all costs, and all this craziness has happened with portals and NILs, and college basketball, we're signing G League guys now. I mean, when you think of, like, how do you talk to your team about processes and stuff when you bring a kid in after Christmas that hadn't been with you all year from the G League, and you sign him and you immediately insert him into your starting lineup? So all the stuff you're talking about, processes and all this, the kids are looking at you like, wait a minute, coach, you just replaced me just out of thin air with this kid, and I've showed up every day and punched the clock and done what you've asked of me. Yeah,
that's exactly right. So, Jordan, we see Coach here, and tell us a little bit after practice. He's riding you guys, make sure you guys are doing the right thing. Coach Tyler like to have a little fun? Is he a comical guy, or is he kind of more or less, what you see is what you get?
All I know is that after we win, he likes sexy red.
I don't know what that means, but that's awesome. So, but either way, that's good. What, do you have something to say about that?
No, I know who Sexy Red is. So, yeah, listening to some rowdy music like that, I mean, it fires everybody up, so no doubt.
Oh,
it's a coach that likes to have a good time after they win. That's all I know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm old, and I don't know what Sexy Red is. That's the first time I've ever heard it. So, and Jeffrey's even laughing, so he must know all about it. But so, let's talk back to you, Jordan, a little bit. This year, how do you think you guys, you had your first outing already. How do you think you guys are looking? And I know that you guys are getting ready to play tomorrow, and then you got Friday as well. So are you going to get a start this weekend, or the Friday or Thursday?
Yeah, tomorrow at 10.
Okay, so you're starting tomorrow at 10. Who are you guys playing tomorrow?
Georgia Highlands.
Is that a good?
Yep. They're nationally ranked. They go to the World Series a good bit. They're probably the best team out of Georgia.
Oh, wow. So that's tomorrow. They had to move it up because of the weather, and this is all going on at Publix Park, right? And you guys are putting that on. What's the tournament called?
Just Visit PCB JUCO Classic.
Okay, and so having them there, name some of the teams that are there as well, Coach.
So, as far as in our league, Tallahassee will be there, Chipola, Northwest Florida, us, Pearl River out of Mississippi, Northeast Mississippi, Georgia Highlands, Eastern Florida, State College of Florida, Indian River, Wallace Dothan will be there, Chat Valley, John A. Logan, Wabash Valley, which are two of your better teams from the Midwest. So it's going to be a good tournament.
So y'all going to have some really good baseball going on over there. It's an all-day event, right? There's going to be several games going on. You guys play at 10 tomorrow and at 3, I believe. And then on Friday, what time do y'all play there as well?
12:30 and 5:30.
Okay, so you got 4 games in 2 days. And is it like a actual tournament where you're going to have a winner, or is it just just kind of a round robin type deal?
So originally, before the weather got a little wonky on us, it was a deal where you knew who you were going to play your first game, and then the winners played the winners, the losers played the losers, and it basically was set up single elimination, but you were guaranteed 4 games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But single elimination, and we had a championship game. Well, now with the weather, and we had one team that could not make it, so we were down to 15 teams. So what we ended up doing is just scripting the entire tournament, so you know who you play all 4 games.
Yeah. I'll say that works out even better. So you're excited about playing against this nationally ranked team? That changeup's going to be working tomorrow. That fastball is going to be locating tomorrow. And do you have any pregame rituals that you do before? Like, do you eat the same food? Do you not step on the lines when you walk on the field? You got anything like that, Jordan?
Usually before the night, I like to go steak and pasta.
Okay.
I try to do that at least, so I'm probably going to go do that.
Okay.
Right after this.
Like at a restaurant or something?
Mm-mm. I'll just make it.
Okay, so you're a chef as well, huh?
I try my best.
There you go. Well, so glad to have you guys. Coach, last question. What's the year looking like for you right now? Do you guys feel like this is going to be one of those years that, you're going to make a deep run in the playoffs? Is this looking like, one of them teams that has a special, memory to it that, years from now you're going to be like, that year right there was a year that we really started doing this or that? Give us a little bit of outlook for this year.
Yeah, I think we have it. We had a really good year last year. We won a league for the first time in a while. I think we have that type of team. Now, the beauty of our league is people call it the SEC of JUCO, is you got to show up and punch the clock every day. If not, you can play good in our league and still lose a game. The talent's that good across the board. But with this group, they seem like a cohesive unit. They're fun to be around. The guys like each other, which is similar to what our team was last year. I feel we got good leadership from our returners, so I feel like obviously the goal is to win a national title. We'd love to get out to Grand Junction and make a run. We haven't done that in a while, so I think this is a team that could do it.
Well, I hope that everybody that is listening, just so you know, our Facebook page is back up. But Coach, give us the times one more time for the people that didn't hear, because it was not up. Tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And you play who again?
Georgia Highlands.
And then 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock we play Eastern Florida.
And then on Friday?
We go 12:30 against Florence Darlington, and then 5:30 against Wabash Valley.
Okay, so that Wabash Valley, you better bring your coats and your sweaters and all the blankets that you can. And it's over there. How much is it to get in over at the Publix?
Ooh, that's a good question. I hadn't looked at ticket prices, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so basically charge it to Coach Younger if you want to go and see those guys play. But either way, we thank you so much for being here, Jordan. It was great to have you, Coach Younger. We appreciate you coming, and hopefully you get to come back some and bring old Jordan back with us after we have won a bunch of games halfway through. So either way, we appreciate it. When we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit of fantasy basketball with Brandon today. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line. Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The Sports Talk and Live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite Sports Talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the Sports Talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Wednesday.
For tonight, clear skies and a low of 36 with a light wind out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine with temps around 51. In the afternoon and evening, partly sunny and a temperature near 57. Moving into Friday, about the same with a high of 60 and partly cloudy in the early morning and then very light showers. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Your home for college basketball, ESPN Northwest Florida.
We got the Auburn Tigers hosting the Texas Longhorns tonight. Auburn comes in 13-7 and on a 3-game winning streak, including a huge road upset over number 16 Florida. Tip-off coming up tonight at 6, right after the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. On your spot for college basketball on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle.
Your fantasy roster just got T-boned. But your season is looking like a pile of scrap metal. It's time for Brandon's recommendations.
Is he sane? I have no idea.
Brought to you by Recommended Collision Center, where we get your roster back in showroom condition. The Sports Blitz.
Talk to your doctor before use.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
He's a hero.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Want to welcome our Facebook people back online. Sorry about that. We fixed it, and we are good to go. But yes, you've heard it right. We are starting a new segment on Wednesdays at 5:20 with, we're going to call him Brandon without the Tennessee, because he's going to be talking about all kinds of friends. But what we're doing is Brandon's recommendations. And so this is going to be your time to listen up if you're doing fantasy football, fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball. Brandon's going to do startums, sit-ems, and all of the stuff in between. So if you want to win your fantasy league, it's time now to listen to Brandon's recommendations. So Brandon, with you, you're not one of those kind of guys that just throws. I can tell, because you've been with the show for a little while now, and I can tell you're not one of those guys that just kind of throws something together. You are a studier, and you have notes and your computer. And so with that being said, you're going to pick everything right. You're going to make everybody win their fantasy football league. Oh, no, wait a minute. Everybody can't win. That's right. But, Brandon, take it away, my friend.
All right, so this is kind of an intro to the NBA fantasy. Obviously, football has come to a conclusion. I'm sure we'll pick that back up.
Yes.
That'll be a rocking topic during football season. I'm actually new, like some of you listeners and viewers, to the NBA fantasy, but I'm not new to fantasy sports.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of catch everybody else up on how NBA fantasy works. So if you were playing NFL fantasy through whether it be Yahoo or ESPN, football, they have one game a week. So you have, Patrick Mahomes or somebody of that nature. They're going to play on Thursday, Sunday, or maybe Monday. They have one game. In the NBA, so you act as a general manager. You draft your real players, and they earn points just like in the NFL based off rebounds, assists, points, etc. Only these NBA players play more than one game a week.
Yeah.
So that is something you have to look at, and is actually a big statistical value in the amount of games that players play. For example, you could have Luka Doncic on your team. Lakers may only play 1 or 2 games. He averages about 30. So let's say he plays 1 game, averages 30. You got a mid-tier player that averages 15 or 16, but he's got 4 games.
Nice.
Right? So you would maybe want to weigh your checks and balances there and figure out, well, is your mid-tier, you're averaging 15, playing 4 games, is he going to outproduce Luka in essence? So just kind of getting started. So you want to prioritize players with more games. So that is something you've got to look into. This week, stay away from Rockets players. They've only got 2 games this week. They are the only team in the NBA with only 2 games this week. So any high-tier Rockets players.
KD's on that team.
Yes, and I think they play tonight. I think actually him and Wemby are on a matchup tonight. So if you're looking for a good game, Rockets versus Spurs, I believe, are tonight. However, I believe it's one of their 2 games. So
and when Reed Shepherd, the sharpshooter from Kentucky, plays with the Rockets.
A rookie, isn't he?
No, it's second year.
Second year. Okay, yeah, second year. So obviously you want to start high volume starters. You know, for example, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, while sitting obviously injured or limited players. So obviously, just like in football, you get back from an injury, the snap count or your minutes on the court are going to be limited. So you do have to know, who's coming off an injury, a lot of turned ankles, things of that nature, trying to get people ramped back in. So you have to stay up to date on some of your injuries as well. Let me see here, 2 weeks. Generally, you want to sit the star players, like I said, with only 2 games. So, you got to weigh who is scoring points. So let's get kind of started here. So these are going to be kind of your sit-ems versus start-ems, right? So each of the guys that I have picked on this list, run through them real quick. Let
me ask you a question real quick, because I'm a little bit. So you got all of these statistics, so you might not want to build your roster with all scorers and no rebounders, right? Or statistics with assists or steals, or do they dock you for turnovers?
Yeah, I would just kind of like in the NFL. So I would assume that you have a turnover, you get minus points. You accumulate the points per point, and it depends on your system, right? I've been a manager of my league as commissioner for almost 5 or 6 years, and you can customize your rules, right? You can customize, deductions, you can take out deductions. So it's kind of up to your league manager and how you actually manage your league. So a lot of different options, a lot of different ways to play, to be quite honest with you.
So you might score a lot of points, but you also might average 4 or 5 turnovers a game. So that's going to knock out some of your other stuff that you need. So can you just pick guards only, or do you need other stuff? Because guards
you have to fill out your roster, just so like position players. So you're going to have a point guard, shooting guard, forward, maybe another shooting guard, and then you're going to have your center. And here in the NBA, these players aren't in fixed positions anymore. No. You'll have Wemby who's a center take the ball up court, or you'll have the point guard play off the ball and not bring it up court. These players are positionless, so to say.
You're a stickler for the 2 different guard positions and 2 different forward positions.
Traditionally, typically, but it's just not seeing the way that it goes. A lot of these players they'll have like 2 positions, kind of like a flex in football.
Yeah.
They will play. They'll play their guard / shooting guard. So theoretically, you pick them up, they can play in either slot. So you can kind of strategically move them around. If you've got a shooting guard you want to bring into your team, you can put them at that position and move your hybrid guard, shooting guard to another position. So a lot of strategy behind it and moving players around, trying to figure it out.
So you give points for scoring points.
Yes.
Rebounds, assists. What about steals?
Steals.
And blocks.
Do you get negative points ever for missing shots?
So like I said, that's an option.
Okay.
So like in my league for fantasy football, like your kickers, for example, you get 3 points for 30-yard field goals, 4 points for 40, 50, 5 points, 50, etc.
Okay,
70-yard field goal, you get
depending on what kind of league
now,
you're in.
in my league, if they miss a field goal, it's minus points. So you can miss a field goal and it's minus 1 point instead of gaining 3. So it could potentially be a 4-point swing with one missed field goal potentially. So in my league, I like to have a little fun, a little punishment for some negligence, so it always leaves it open. Some people like it, some people love it, some people don't care. So, I always try to go to my league and the people in my league and say, hey, is there anything we want to change this year? So just talk to your league manager if you have any concerns about your league. So, trying to kind of getting some players. So I kind of mentioned, some of these players play anywhere from 5 games a week to as low as 2 games a week.
So here's the other question.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
Do you start like on a Sunday to Saturday?
It starts, I think it starts Monday to Sunday.
Monday to Sunday.
Monday to
okay.
Sunday is how the NBA fantasy weeks roll.
And it's a build up. So the more games you play, the more stats you're going to get, more points you're going to have.
Yes.
But what was my next question? So let's say your team is playing his team.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's all the stats from the whole week, and you can switch out at any time during the middle of the week, or you have to have a roster.
Yeah, once your roster is set, typically it's locked into place for that week, it'd be in football. Now, let's say you've set your roster on the Monday, but that guy doesn't play till Wednesday. When their games start, that player's locked. Right? So as long as your game hasn't started and you get news or you're like, oh, shoot, he's being sat because he turned an ankle in warm-ups, you have an opportunity to go in and get that changed out. So, and
what if Giannis gets traded?
So if you were to have Giannis as on your team, which would be a marvelous, a draft pick because he is a Swiss Army knife. He is one of the most dominant guys in the league. This injury he has right now, I think he's just really tired of the Milwaukee Bucks at this point and how they've handled stuff. Not all their fault. Small market team. There's only so much they can do. They really tried when they got Doc Rivers and brought in Damian Lillard and things like that. Really thought that was going to be a huge push, but that was showed to be extremely stale really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So, so to get started on some of this, like I said, one of the top priority things you want to prioritize is games. So, on this stardom list right here, most of these guys, they have 4 games this week, and one of them has 5. So, kind of looking in here, Cam Smith for the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant's still out, and so he would also be one of those where I'd call them hot pickups. So if Cam Smith is not picked up in your league, be a good pickup. With John Morant out, his volume has significantly increased, higher average in assists. He's getting some super solid minutes, shooting at about 48% on the field goal.
Yeah.
So solid pickup there if you're looking for a guard and Cam Smith's available in your league, definitely somebody you should go after. Somebody else here, we're gonna Naz Reid, kind of an old school guy. He's been around, extremely consistent, high proficiency. He is a bench producer, so in those deeper leagues where all your prolific starters and playmakers, you may have to look a little deeper into this league. So that is a guy that may be sleeping out there somewhere on the bench that you may be able to pick up and play. He's got some high volume, averaging 14.3 points this week with 4 games. So you do the math on that, you're looking at potentially 60 points if Naz Reid, plays up to his average with as many games as he has. So looking at some of the sit-ems here, obviously for all you local folks that follow, like the Orlando Magic and things like that, Franz Wagner is out with an injury. So obviously you want to make sure that even if you have your lineup set and these players were supposed to come back and they don't, you got to get them out of there. If they're not inactive and their game starts, you're going to be locked with an injured player into your list, and that is a goose egg. Goose eggs are not good in fantasy.
Ooh. Do you typically like a league that has like 12 teams?
So, yes. Anywhere 12 is, I think, probably the perfect number. My fantasy football league ended up at 8 this year, and it was firepower.
Oh, yeah.
All the starters.
You can pick up and
exactly. And so with the bench players or your free agents in the league were starters in most other leagues. So we had a few drop off. Ideally, I would love to see us at about 10 to 12, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. I think real sports enthusiasts thrive in those leagues because you do have to look deeper. It's not just, head title names. You're able to kind of scour the rosters and the depth charts and be able to and try to find some of these guys here that normally you're not looking at, to try to put in and score points. So, another one of those sit-ems out there, Mark Williams. He was the guy that was at the Charlotte Hornets. He was supposed to go to the LA Lakers, and
used to play with Duke.
Yeah, and didn't pass his physical. Now he's with the Phoenix Suns, and a lot of you who are looking to pick up some players. He scored 27 points Tuesday. However, it is the first time he scored 20 points since December 26th. So, very, very inconsistent. He's only got a 49% start rate. So, probably a player that you want to kind of stay away from. Even though he was hot last Tuesday, he scored a lot of points. May want to stay away from that.
Yeah, it's crazy with basketball because it's a little different than football because you got to take all these precautions in mind, and if you don't stay connected with it, you could find yourself on the back end and be in the losing season because somebody gets hurt because you got to stay connected to what's going on so that it happens. But it's fun. I played it before. It's been a good time.
Do you know who's not a loser?
Yeah. AutoNation Ford in Panama City, 730 West 15th Street, right there by the railroad tracks. If you want to go over there and see those guys, they've got all kinds of deals going on right now. Still the deal that I love to say the most, if you have a Jeep, you know how those Jeeps are. They always breaking. They're always messing up. Everybody wants to take them off-road, but guess what? Doesn't work out so well because you have to throw it in the shop to get it fixed all the time. AutoNation Ford's got a deal right now. You go get a Bronco and trade that Jeep in, and they will give you $2,000 off the price of the new Bronco. So go do that over there at AutoNation Ford in Panama City. There's a place that I like to take my vehicle when I need something repaired, and that would be Recommended Collision Center. Tell us a little bit about it, Brandon.
Yes, sir. So I own Recommended Collision Center in Panama City, Florida. Man, we do a lot of insurance work, a lot of customer pay work. For example, we had somebody had their vehicle, a 3500 Dodge. I mean, that's a $100,000 truck. Was at a local chain body shop. I'm not going to slander any names, but it had been sitting there for a month and had barely had the door taken off. Had maybe not even the supplement complete. No progress. No parts ordered. No nothing. Customer is irate. Legally, you can change your body shop if you're not happy with the way that a shop is handling your repairs.
Yes.
I have noticed that my shop is a shop that does capture a lot of those because we do take pride in customer service, quality of work, and when some of these production shops don't necessarily come up to par, a lot of people look for another shop, and my shop always comes up. So we're not afraid to tackle it. I'm going to handle this customer with care. I'm going to explain to them, and I'm going to keep them updated on an every other day basis, especially with how he got treated at the other shop. I don't want that happening at mine. We take pride in making sure our customers are on the same page as us. We don't want anybody thinking that we're not doing our job and we're not taking care of their vehicle. So, you can come see us at 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City, Florida. Ask for Brandon. Mention 104.3 ESPN, and we'll definitely take care of you.
Yeah, and there's two Brandons that work there.
There are two Brandons.
So
ask for
double
Brandon.
The pleasure.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So either way, go see those guys. They're local. And local always means better, especially right here with this.
Yes, sir.
Either way, when we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more of some basketball. And we got to find out what the Red 7Ts is blowing up about. Some of you commented, and I'm not so sure if I agree with you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We got the Auburn Tigers hosting the Texas Longhorns tonight. Auburn comes in 13-7 and on a 3-game winning streak, including a huge road upset over number 16 Florida. Tip-off coming up tonight at 6 right after the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. On your spot for college basketball on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
War Eagle. Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all-over paint jobs, from fender benders to major collisions, it's Recommended Collision Center. They work with all insurance companies and offer customer pay options, too. A family-owned collision center that takes pride in top-quality repairs, friendly service, quick drop-offs, and a fast turnaround. So when life throws you a wreck, they'll help you get amended. Recommended Collision Center, 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City.
That boot store reminds you that it doesn't hurt to give something stylish and practical on Valentine's Day. Just think, fellas, what she's gonna look like in that special Western outfit. Wow. Ladies, he'll look sharp in those jeans and new hat, too. Okay, fellas, to be on the safe side and not be sleeping on the couch, that boot store suggests that you complement that Western outfit with some lovely flowers, candy, or romantic art. Maybe all three. Just a suggestion from that boot store. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a showdown in the ACC.
Here's a front court left side. Left open. Triggers the three and buries it.
The SMU Mustangs head to Louisville to face the Cardinals.
Screen left. He's in the short corner. Took a bump. Goes to the basket. Reverse layup is good. Oh, what an acrobatic finish.
Airtime at 12:30. Tip-off at 1 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The sports world is a battlefield of opinions.
Auburn's got a serious problem.
And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take.
They are not finding ways to get him the football.
Don't just follow the headlines.
But they lost 2 road games, and these 2 teams are ranked number 5 and number 6.
Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your place for college basketball. Don't forget tonight, right after the show, in about 15 minutes, Auburn versus Texas right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Red 7T's, the place for custom apparel. Go give them a shout out on Facebook. They're right there, and you can see what kind of work they do. Great work. So either way, guys, we've been talking about basketball. I do want to share something off the Red 7T's phone line. One of the viewers, listeners said that, does everybody realize that Bill Belichick's winning percentage without Tom Brady was 44%, but with Tom Brady, it was 77%. So does that make any difference in whether or not he's a first ballot Hall of Fame to you, Jeffrey?
No, doesn't matter.
Brandon?
No.
Jimmy?
No.
He still won. He's the one that drafted Tom Brady, possibly the greatest quarterback to ever lace up a shoe. So realistically, give the guy his due.
I mean, I would point out, do we hold Tom Brady that Bill Belichick was his coach for that many years? Did Tom Brady only win 6 Super Bowls because of
7?
Well, 6 with New England, but yeah, I mean, are they holding that against him? Oh no, we're not going to elect him. Bill Belichick was his coach. Just in the inverse. I mean, I don't think we hold that against him.
Outside of the Randy Moss year that they did not win the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah.
That year was probably one of the most football teams I've ever seen. Crazy good. But outside of Randy Moss, Mike Evans was Tom Brady's second best wide receiver that he ever
Tom
had.
Brady made receivers.
Yeah, but Mike Evans, though, made Johnny Manziel win the Heisman Trophy. I don't know if you remember that or not, but he did. Mike Evans is the real deal. And really, when you look at it, when he got Mike Evans down there at Tampa Bay, when Tom Brady went down to Tampa Bay, I mean, because Mike Evans is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all agree with that or not.
No, I do. I 100% agree. I think he's probably one of the most underrated wide receivers in the game. I mean, the amount of 1,000-yard seasons he's had consecutively. I think last year was his first that he didn't get 1,000.
Yeah.
It was like 800 or something.
Hurt.
I think because he was hurt, and if not, he would have easily had it.
But yeah, I think he's one of the greatest.
You know, it was a take that you frowned upon when I made it earlier, and it was off the air, was that the biggest equivalent to Eli Manning is Jim Plunkett. And they both went 50%, won the same amount of games as they lost, because 117 and 117 is Eli Manning's record for his career, and Jim Plunkett was 72 and 72, and they both went 2-0 in Super Bowls. Eli won 2 in a 5-year span. Plunkett won 2 in a 4-year span.
If you had a team to play in a Super Bowl and you were going to play the other quarterback, which out of those two would you pick? Jim Plunkett or Eli Manning?
This is a tough one. I'd go with Eli Manning. And Jim Plunkett won one like on his own, but the second one, Marcus Allen was kind of running over everybody, really.
Yeah.
You know?
I just thought maybe because of your love and infatuation for USC, that's where Jim Plunkett came from. So
no, he went Stanford.
That's right.
He went Stanford, just like John Elway. And that was the heaviest QB class ever, because he was in the same class with Terry Bradshaw and Archie Manning.
Oof.
Yes, I'm biased.
That was not the heaviest.
It was a 1-2-3, and I think it was maybe the only time that a quarterback went 1-2-3 in the first round.
Eli's class was better than that.
Yeah,
though, I will have to say.
But that was a big year, though.
Yeah. So, and then one more Red 7T's phone line. It had kind of rebooted, so it kind of messed up a little bit. So I apologize for not getting the name right, but I will say that the deal is, Louisville actually has had a G League player all year long this year play on their team. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. How does that make you feel, knowing that Louisville actually has a player that is from the G League already playing and has played all year?
So it's not school specific. I mean, obviously, I have a heavy dislike for the school in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not the school. It's the NCAA as a whole. The fact that this is allowed to happen, the fact that has been some quiet news up until now that nobody else has mentioned it. I mean, this right here, I mean, it's bigger than the Mensa. It's bigger than Carson Beck getting to play 7 years in college football. I mean, this is a floodgate that if this levy doesn't hold, it will flood the entire NCAA. It will open up many avenues for many players. And, it's going to get messy, and somebody's got to get ahead of it.
Now, Baylor has a player, too, but I'm not sure whether he, declared for the draft and did get drafted but never played, or what his situation was.
Yeah.
So Baylor has one also.
Turf Pro Pat said that, by the way, just so you know. And then here we go. Someone else just said, as far as Bill Belichick goes, the man has 8 rings. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
proof in the pudding.
Proof's in the pudding.
Yeah. How many more you need?
Yeah, you don't need any more.
I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan. It's not the most hate for the Patriots, but you got to do what's right. You got to do what's right.
I mean, he probably has more rings than the last 3 or 4 coaches combined that have been inducted.
Actually, probably the second and third most successful coaches of all time, because Noel has 4, right? And then I'm not even sure. Shula has, 3, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we only have about 5 to 6 minutes here. I want to talk about this, and I know this is going to make everybody very, very, very happy.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns have finally found their head football coach. Todd Monken has signed up to be the next experiment for the Cleveland Browns.
I mean,
if everybody remembers him, he won the national championships with Georgia as the offensive coordinator, went to Baltimore, and now he is the beloved caretaker of one by the name of Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders. Do you guys love the pick here, or do you think it's just safe? Monken's been in the business for a long time. He's not new, he's not young, but Is this
the best Cleveland could do?
Dude, it's ridiculous. I mean, before the beginning of the NFL season, Ravens were supposed to win it. I mean, they had all the talent. Lamar and
I picked them last year.
Andrews and all of their Derrick Henry, all of their talent, unreal offensive talent. That offense was hot garbage this year.
I think the bigger deal for me here is not the Monken hiring, but Schwartz saying, "Peace up, dudes. I'm out," because that defense was the only thing that team had, and you just told that guy, "We don't need you to coach. We'd love you to sit behind this guy that's never been an NFL coach, unlike you, Schwartz. We're just, but we'd love for you to stay." And what did Schwartz do? He said, "No thanks," and I don't blame him.
And that's the thing. They made a mistake because they interviewed Schwartz as well, and then they said Monken's got the job, so Schwartz says, "Oh, okay, this is it. I'm out." And so, I
don't blame him.
And he was a coach for the Lions. He was fairly successful, actually. He didn't do too bad with the Lions. Yeah, as far as the first, he had a good year or two with Stafford. But when I say it, it was better than the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So,
0-17.
Right.
Here.
No, we're not talking about the Saints, all right? We're talking about the Lions.
They never went 0-17, but the Lions did, and they're the only team that have ever done it.
But what I'm saying is Schwartz, you're exactly right, Jimmy. They were so good on defense. They were involved in a lot of their games just because of their defense, and they've got high picks. And, who knows, man? I mean, you really don't know. You could say what you want, but every year in, year out, the question is going to be, are we going to add Monken to the list of failed head coaches? And is Shedeur Sanders going to be another one that bites the dust? Or is Shedeur Sanders actually even going to be the starting quarterback? I mean, he's in the Pro Bowl. He threw 10 interceptions and 7 touchdowns. He's in the Pro Bowl.
They could do what the Browns do, pick a good quarterback and then run him out of town and he's successful somewhere else.
Yeah.
This
Sounds
is
like
a team
a very
with
Cleveland Brown thing to do.
The longest conference championship drought in the history. Well, not the history. Well, yeah, I believe it is the history of the NFL. 1989, I think, is the last year.
Well, would it surprise you if I told you that Cleveland is not in the bottom half of attendance?
Oh, attendance
at their football games.
Yeah, because their fans are miserable. Going to the games, though.
But, I mean, where would you put them? Out of the 32, where do you think they would land?
Probably 11th.
What do you think, Brandon?
I mean, got to be the bottom third, right?
I don't know. Tell me. What you think? There's 32.
32 teams. I'll put them 11th.
I'm going to put them like 15.
Jimmy, where you got them?
I'll put them at number 8. They get people in there, man.
Wow. They do get people in there. Let's just go ahead and let you guys know. Nobody got that one right. They are ranked number 16th in total attendance.
Middle.
581,941 people.
But this is impressive. You know why? Their stadium doesn't hold a lot of people.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Who's number 1, guys?
Oh, God.
Attendance?
In attendance.
Chiefs? No.
No, it's too
Who has the biggest stadium is the question.
That's what I'm going to go with. Whoever has the biggest stadium, that's the answer.
Dallas Cowboys.
Philly's got to be in the top 4.
So Dallas?
Philly's got to be in the top 4, easy.
Philly? All right, Jimmy.
Maybe SoFi, it's a huge stadium.
Rams.
You going Rams now? You changed it?
Yeah. No, absolutely Rams.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not.
Yeah.
It is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, there you go.
743,934. I'll go through the top 10 for you just to kind of let you know how it goes because we only got a minute left. Denver is number 2. Kansas City is number 3. This is going to shock everybody. Number 4 is your New York Jets. Number 5 is the New York Giants. Number 6 is the Buffalo Bills. Number 7 is Houston. Number 8 is Baltimore. Number 9 is Green Bay. And rounding out the top 10 is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, my God. The Rams didn't even make the top 10?
Nope.
That is embarrassing when the Chargers
The Rams are at 14.
In the same stadium.
Pittsburgh is at 11. The Miami's at 12. The last team out of everybody.
The bottom. Who is it?
Titans.
Raiders.
Chicago Bears.
Oh, my goodness.
Guess who's next?
It's cold and they're bad. Not this year, but
guess who's next to last?
Raiders.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yes. So either way, yep. We've done it for today. Don't forget Auburn versus Texas right now after the show. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll see you tomorrow.
Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
We got the